just want to say to you, if she wins in Pennsylvania, and Kentucky and West Virginia give her a big vote, and she wins by a nickel in Indiana, where they don't give her a chance, and I believe she is going to win, and then we go through all these primary states, and she has more popular votes, and has won the electoral votes of the states that we got to have to win, she can be the nominee, and she can be the president. You can do it. It's up to you. So don't let all these people tell you you shouldn't be able to vote. Your vote doesn't count. Now, I want to talk to you today about why she should be the next president. Because that's very important. Electability matters. Look, I guess I ought to tell you one or two other things. We got to pick out some states we've lost the last two elections, right? West Virginia, Arkansas, Ohio, and Florida. If we win those four states, it's hard to see how the Democrats can lose the White House. Hillary can defeat Senator McCain in Florida because she's always been for all of them voting, and they like her down there. That's why she won the primary by 300,000 votes, even though she didn't advertise on television and her opponent did. It was against the rules, so she didn't do it. And then in Ohio, she can win. The governor endorsed her in Ohio, and he said she'd be the best president, and she's the most likely to win Ohio. Latest poll in Ohio last week, Hillary 50, Senator McCain 44. Senator McCain 50, Hillary's opponent 43. No Republican has ever been elected president in the history of the Republican Party without carrying Ohio. Not one time. It had never happened. And I haven't seen any recent polls in West Virginia, but it's hard for me to believe she couldn't win here. Well, let's go to Arkansas. She has not lived in Arkansas in 15 years. Okay? She got 70% of the vote in the Democratic primary in Arkansas. And she carried every region of the state. She lost 3 counties by 350 votes, where she got almost half the African American vote. Why? Because they know her. We have between 65 and 85 people from Arkansas from all over America campaigning for her. They personally turned around a big city of Orden, Nashville, New Hampshire, and helped her win the election. Why? They had this little brochure they'd written out, all by themselves, talking about the changes she made in other people's lives when I was governor there. Not me, her. She ran our school reform program, and when I ran for president, an expert who once said we had the worst schools in America said we were one of the two most improved states in the country. She did that, changed people's opportunities forever. She brought health care to people in rural areas in Arkansas that never had it before. She personally raised the money for America's first rural development bank to help all the men and women who lost jobs on the factory and in the farms in the 1980s to start again and get their own business loans. And that thing's still going great guns. That's one of the reasons she got 70% of the vote. So last week they had a poll in the general election. Senator McCain was 16 points ahead of her opponent in Arkansas and 15 points behind her. She can be elected president, and West Virginia will help her on this nomination. But why? I think there are 3 reasons. And John went over it pretty briefly. Let me just go through them. First of all, this is a great country, but we're in a bad fix right now.
Yes, sir.
You agree with that, don't you?
Yes! Yes!
We've got an immediate emergency in all the financial markets and with this home mortgage crisis, and a long-term problem that has, it basically makes it almost silly when people ask in the papers, are we going to head into a recession? Most Americans think they've been in a recession for quite some time. And why do you think that? Because incomes are flat and costs are up, right?
Yep.
That's how most Americans experience this. They haven't gotten a raise, but health care costs have doubled, college education costs up 75%, gasoline through the roof, everything related to energy higher, especially food now. Food is going up more than twice the rate of inflation. And for the first time since I started running for president back in late 1991, at meetings like this, all over America, people come up to me and say, You know, Bill, I got to be really careful how much I spend at the grocery store now, because if I'm not careful, then I won't have enough money for medicine at the end of the month.
Amen. Yes.
And I'll bet you know people like that. So that's where we are. Now, why are we in this fix?